Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin. I'm a 24-year-old living in Washington, D.C. And usually I just make little vlogs about my 20-something life here in the city, but today I am coming at you with an apartment tour. I have lived in my 250 square foot studio apartment here in Northwest DC for a little over 2 years now, and 9 months into my lease, I actually filmed another apartment tour, but my space looks completely different now than it did in that video, so I figured it was time for an update. You certainly don't need to watch that previous apartment tour to enjoy this video, but if you would like to, I'll link it down in the description. And I'll also give you some facts that I listed in that video to give a little more context about my living situation. So I live alone and I pay $13.26 in rent for this space. It used to be $12.50 a month in rent, but I did have the price increase at some point over the past 2 years that I've lived here. I can't exactly remember when. The reason that increase is so little is because this building is rent controlled, which I really lucked out on when I signed this lease in the first place. I'm not going to share the exact neighborhood that I live in for safety and privacy reasons, but I am indeed in the northwest quadrant of DC, and I am north of some more well-known neighborhoods like Adams Morgan, DuPont Circle, and Georgetown. As far as what is included in my rent, gas is covered and water is covered, but I do pay my own electric and Wi-Fi bill, so those are not included in the $13.26 a month price. And the last fact that I'll share with you before we get into the apartment tour is kind of similar to the little rant I gave in my last apartment video. I mentioned in that video that there's so much content being created around really fancy apartments in the $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000 price range, which is just simply not affordable for most people in their 20s who want to live alone. So I'm hoping to make this video to again shed some light on what an actually affordable unit looks like in a big city. I've also noticed recently that the apartment videos that I see in my algorithm are pretty much always either New York or Los Angeles. And I think it's important for me to share my experience living in DC for anyone else who is interested in moving here, because there really is not a ton of content being made in comparison to the content being made about apartments in other cities. So just throwing that out there, I hope you all find this video helpful for those reasons and also for your own decorating inspiration. And without further ado, let's get into the apartment tour. We are going to kick off this tour in the kitchen/entryway. Directly behind me is the front door where I hang my favorite tote bags. To the left of the back of the front door is where I keep a little organizer for all of my mail. And to the right of the door is a white shoe cabinet that I got off of Wayfair. I actually don't store shoes in here, however. I store cooking supplies like muffin tins, baking sheets, towels, anything small and compact that can fit somewhere besides the cabinets that you see above me. On top of this organizer, I've got a framed print of my grandma and I, as well as a painting I did a couple months back, and a little green dish to hold my keys and some extra cards. Next to the organizer, I've got a large print. I love that this print features lemons, as well as a bar for a hand towel. Then, as you can see behind me, we have all of this wonderful cabinet space. I say that kind of sarcastically because I do hate looking at all of the junk that's in these cabinets every time I cook. But I've made it work for just a solo person in this apartment for the past 2 years. I also have a little bit of storage under my sink, which is where I keep my trash can and my recycling can and some additional utensils and my blender, just random kitchen stuff like that. On my countertop, I have a toaster as well as a lemon juicer that I got at the Georgetown flea market, and a cutting board just for some extra decoration to hide the cord of my toaster. As you can see, it's a really small space. I've done a couple of DIYs to it. I've covered the floor with a brown peel and stick tile. I've also covered the wall behind me with a white backsplash and some of the drawer fronts with white contact paper. All of these are easily removable, so I'm going to be taking them out in the process of moving, but in the time that I've lived here, they've done a great job at really decorating the space and making it my own. We have arrived at the bedroom corner of my apartment. In front of my bed, there is a very teeny tiny closet where I store my coats, my shoes, my laundry basket, and other random things like my vacuum. My tripod, which I'm filming on, normally goes in there. Next to the closet is a small white IKEA cabinet that I actually found on Facebook Marketplace. In there, I've got purses, extra sheets, and towels for when guests come to visit and stay over. On top of that cabinet, I've got a pothos plant that I love dearly. She's trailing all the way up the wall, and I'm so proud of her. Next to the pothos is a paint by numbers that I actually did myself. This is actually of a photo that I took in Morro Bay, California a few years ago, and I sent it to a company that turns your photos into a paint by numbers set. So I painted this myself, and I really like having this here as a reminder of my home state. Then obviously you've got my bed, which is comfy enough. I've got a combination of Amazon and Brooklinen sheets on here. I've kept it pretty simple with the bedspread, just going for white and brown, pretty neutral. Above my bed, I've got a couple of propagation stations that are hung up on the wall using command strips. I'm pretty sure I got these from Amazon, and I have a couple pothos propagates from the trailing plant that you just saw earlier hung up there. Then rounding out the bedroom corner, I've got a white IKEA stool that I also found on Facebook Marketplace, and I've been using that as a nightstand. I've been looking for an excuse to upgrade my nightstand for a while, but I just haven't found one that really suits me yet. So in the meantime, this is how I've made do. All right, let me take you to the living room. Welcome to the living room. This is an area that has probably changed the most since my last apartment tour, besides my kitchen with all of the DIYs, of course. I now have this velvet green sofa. I think I got this from Wayfair. They were having some kind of Labor Day sale this year, and I jumped on it. I've also got a couple of random throw pillows, and then my coffee table situation is pretty interesting. I am using a nightstand from IKEA as my coffee table. It might have been better to get a bigger coffee table at the end of the day, but I really wanted this apartment to feel open and airy, even though it's only 250 square feet, so I opted for a really small option. And then on top of the coffee table is my little baby ZZ plant, which I really love. I got him back in 2021, I want to say at this point. Next to the nightstand slash coffee table situation, I've got an ottoman that I also found on Facebook Marketplace, and inside the ottoman is extra storage, so I keep a cozy blanket in there. Something that you'll notice in the living room, and actually throughout the whole back wall of my apartment, is that it's covered in this white brick foam wallpaper. I installed this myself over some acoustic paneling just to try to make the space as quiet as I possibly could. I've also hung 3 art prints on this wall. 2 of them are from a DC art collective called Femme Fatale, and one of them I ordered on Etsy. Now, when you sit down on my couch, you are looking at actually my dresser. Because I don't have a ton of space in my closet, I've got an additional dresser to hold the majority of my clothes. This is an IKEA Tarva dresser, and I customized it by painting it this baby blue color and adding these leather strap handles in place of the knobs that it came with. On top of it, I've got a Bay Area print, also from Etsy. I've got a candle. I've also put a Monstera Adansonii in a yellow pot on top of the dresser, and some books and a small lamp. Alright folks, I might get a little bit loud with the street noise, but we're just gonna make do. The south-facing windows in my apartment are indeed street-facing, but I've still put my desk right up against them because I work 2 days a week from home, and I like having a great view to look at while I am working. The desk that I've got is also from Wayfair, and I got it again right when I first moved to DC. I'm so glad that I purchased this desk. It is super big and gives me a lot of space. The desk also came with storage shelves on the left side, so on those shelves I have a variety of plants. I've got a Brazil philodendron, marble queen pothos, and a Hoya carnosa, I believe. I'm new to Hoyas, so correct me if I'm wrong. Next to the desk I have my fan, as well as a large poster that I got at a concert this year. On the desk I've also got a small mirror and a place to put my headphones. Next to the desk, I've got a white IKEA cabinet drawer system. On top of the IKEA drawers, I've got a set of coasters from my grandma, a new Dracaena plant that I got recently, and of course my air conditioner unit, which is vital during the DC summer months. Behind the desk, I've got an entryway rack. I know it's not positioned in the entryway, but I wanted something to fill this corner of space that I could store extra things on, have friends put coats on when they came to visit my apartment. Welcome to the teeny tiny bathroom. Right outside the bathroom door, I have a big ZZ plant that I absolutely adore. On the door, I also have a full-length mirror hanging on it, which is super helpful for getting ready in the morning. And then when you enter the bathroom, immediately you see my sink and the toilet and the over-the-toilet cabinet that I have installed. I store lots in this over-the-toilet cabinet, from makeup brushes to hair products. In the corner next to the toilet, I've got a small white stool that has some toilet paper on top of it. And above the toilet, there's a really great floating shelf that I have used to store paper towels, other random products, as well as my watering can and a plant propagate. On top of the cabinet is my dehumidifier and a plant to keep it company. There's not much else to report in the bathroom. I've got a great medicine cabinet and storage below the sink, a decent sized shower for an apartment this small. But other than that, I think that's the tour. Thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to, please feel free to subscribe to my channel or like this video. I will be moving soon. I posted a vlog last week detailing how I found my new apartment that I'll be moving into. I'm really excited to share with you that whole moving process. I'm going to be doing moving vlogs every Friday. All right, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.